Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe.
3 weeks ago, Caitlin Clark went down with a quad injury against the New York Liberty. The defending champions thought they had silenced the superstar. They were wrong. On June 14th, Clark walked back onto that same court, looked the undefeated Liberty straight in the eye, and delivered the most devastating performance of her young career. 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 7 three-pointers, and a 102-88 statement win that ended the Liberty's undefeated record. But here's what nobody saw coming. The way she did it will give you chills. If you're excited for Caitlin's return, then comment fired up for CC down below. Let's go.
Nike finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE. Is this the first Caitlin Clark exclusive Nike commercial since she's entered the WNBA? I know she's made a cameo here, she's made a cameo there, she was featured as part of this rollout here, featured as part of this rollout there, but is this our first official Caitlin Clark solo commercial?
Picture this, May 24th, a physical battle against these same Liberty players. Clark faces a physical Liberty squad in a poorly officiated game and strains her quad. The injury hits at the worst possible moment. The Fever are still trying to find their identity as a team. The Liberty are riding high as defending champions, looking unstoppable on both ends of the court.
Caitlin, and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to wear her.
While Clark sat on the sidelines for 3 long weeks watching from the bench, the Liberty kept rolling. They won game after game, going undefeated and making it look easy. It almost felt like they had removed their biggest threat from the equation. The defending champions were sending a message to the entire league. Nobody could touch them. The Fever dropped games without their superstar. They went 2 wins and 3 losses during those 5 games Clark missed. Doubts started creeping in everywhere. Fans were questioning the coach, the bench, the team, and even the front office. Could Clark return to her dominant form after missing so much time? Would the quad injury affect her explosive first step? What about her signature deep shooting range that made her famous?
Oh, I don't think I'd be in the wrong to say Caitlin Clark's Kobe is the sneaker of the week, and everyone's focus is mostly on this one. If you really wanted that shoe, I hope you put your footwork in, because there's supposedly only 13,000 pairs on Sneakers App tomorrow. Combine that with a really high resale value, I expect this shoe to be a relatively difficult cop. But my hope seriously is that with Caitlin Clark's sneaker coming out, that this sets a precedent and we might see other exclusive player edition Kobe's drop for the public.
Medical experts questioned everything quad injuries are tricky for basketball players. They affect your ability to cut, jump, and generate power on your shots. Clark's game depends on her quick first step and her ability to pull up from anywhere on the court. The uncertainty was real, but here's what the Liberty didn't count on. Clark spent every single day of those 3 weeks preparing for this exact moment, she told reporters. I think the hardest part is when you begin to feel really good, and then it's just the process of working yourself back into actually getting up and down and getting out there with my teammates. She was studying film, staying mentally sharp, and visualizing her return.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hidden right here, and no, I don't want to pay $600 on GOAT.
The anticipation built as game day approached. Then medical experts questioned everything. Quad injuries are tricky for basketball players. They affect your ability to cut, jump, and generate power on your shots. Clark's game depends on her quick first step and her ability to pull up from anywhere on the court. The uncertainty was real. But here's what the Liberty didn't count on. Clark spent every single day of those 3 weeks preparing for this exact moment. She told reporters, I think the hardest part is when you begin to feel really good, and then it's just the process of working yourself back into actually getting up and down and getting out there with my teammates. She was studying film, staying mentally sharp, and visualizing her return. Numbers don't lie. 2. 22.22 million viewers tuned into ABC and ESPN Plus to watch the showdown. That made it the second most watched WNBA game ever on that network. Everyone wanted to see if the superstar could deliver when it mattered most. Clark walked onto that court with fire in her eyes during warm-ups. She had made it clear before the game, "I don't want to come back unless I'm 100% full go. I'm out there to win and give everything I have for this team." You could see the determination in every movement. Every practice shot, every interaction with her teammates. The stage was perfectly set. An injured superstar facing the undefeated defending champions. The team that had knocked her out of action now stood between her and revenge. Clark had to prove her body could handle the pressure. But more importantly, she had to show the basketball world that she was back and better than ever.
I lost all respect for A'ja Wilson. I don't want to hear her opinions. I don't care what she has to say from this point on. When you keep a Nike deal 2 years in secret while you're spewing all that crazy stuff about Caitlin Clark in the Time magazine, read it. Read what she said in the Time magazine. Yet you had a Nike deal the whole entire time?
You've seen Caitlin Clark shoot before, but nothing prepared anyone for what happened in the first quarter. The game was tight. Both teams traded baskets back and forth. The Liberty looked confident. They had their undefeated record. But then Clark decided to take over in the most spectacular way possible. She crossed half court and kept going. Way beyond the three-point line, she pulled up from 34 foot out. The logo 3 swished through the net like she was shooting in her driveway. The crowd started buzzing, but that was just the beginning of something special. A few seconds later, Clark did it again, this time from 28 foot out. Let's keep in mind the three-point line is 22 feet away. You could hear the crowd losing their minds. The noise level jumped through the roof. Players on both benches started standing up to get a better look. This wasn't normal basketball anymore.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player, but in my opinion Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her.
Before anyone could process what was happening, Clark launched a third logo 3 from 31 foot out. The ball left her hands with perfect rotation. It arced high through the air and dropped through the net without touching iron. The entire Liberty bench was shaking their heads in disbelief. Their coaching staff looked stunned on the sideline. Clip 8. Even Breanna Stewart, one of the best players in the world, was caught on camera smiling and nodding in pure respect. Sandy Brondello, the Liberty coach, had the same reaction. When your opponents are showing that kind of respect during the game, you know you're witnessing something extraordinary. These weren't lucky shots. Each one was perfectly placed with that signature. Clark released. The form was identical on all 3 attempts. Her follow-through was smooth and confident. She looked like she was shooting in her backyard, not facing the defending champions in front of 2.22 million viewers.
And all this was done while the shoe's being developed, while the collection's being done. To demonize Caitlin Clark and try to label her as a privileged white girl that's getting all the privileges, even though she earned everything she got. This ain't about color. This is about good and bad. And I find this a little evil. I find this evil. This is beyond bad, because you had the ability to speak up and say, hey, everybody, relax. Don't get on Caitlin Clark. She got a shoe deal. That's cool. I got one too. Mine's taking a little bit, but it's going to come out. Just be patient. She could have came out and said that, but she didn't.
The crowd erupted so loudly that players had to wait for the noise to die down before continuing play. The arena was electric. Fans were on their feet jumping up and down. Even neutral basketball fans watching at home were losing their minds on social media. 3 logo threes in 38 seconds tied her career high of 7 threes for the game. The momentum completely shifted in that moment. The Liberty went from looking confident to looking concerned. Clark had announced her return in the most dramatic way possible, but those shots were just the beginning of a performance that would leave everyone talking for weeks. Clark wasn't done making her statement. She was just getting started, and the Liberty were about to find out exactly what they had awakened. Music. When the final buzzer sounded, Clark's stat line looked like something from a video game on easy mode. 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds in just 31 minutes on the court. Those numbers would be amazing for any player on any night. But this wasn't just any night. And Clark wasn't just any player coming back from a serious injury. Caitlin Clark.
Nike just released a brand new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and her new Kobe shoe that she released today. And I saw this commercial yesterday on social media. I thought it was so cool. There's a shot when she's in the locker room and she opens her eye and it like turns into what looks like a snake eye, but when you zoom in, it's actually the Kobe logo.
She moved without any hesitation at all. Clark drove to the basket with the same explosive speed that made her famous. Her first step was just as quick as before the injury. She attacked the rim like she had never missed a single day of action. The quad injury that kept her out for 3 weeks looked like a distant memory. Her court vision was sharper than ever before. Clark threaded passes through defenders like she had never missed a game. She found teammates in spots that other players couldn't even. C9 assists tells the story of a player who makes everyone around her better. She created scoring chances that shouldn't have existed. The rebounds showed her competitive fire burning bright. Clark dove for loose balls against players 6 inches taller than her. She battled in the paint like her life depended on it. 8 rebounds from a guard position proved she wanted this win more than anything else in the world. Here's what made it even more incredible. Clark shot 11 of 20 from the field for 55% shooting while taking difficult shots all night long. She went 7 of 14 from three-point range. Those 7 threes tied her career high. She wasn't just making easy baskets. Clark was hitting tough shots over good defenders with hands in her face. Every time the Liberty tried to make a run, Clark had an answer ready. Sometimes it was a clutch 3 from way downtown. Other times it was a perfect assist that led to an easy basket for a teammate. She controlled the tempo of the entire game from start to finish. This performance put Clark in the history books. She surpassed Candace Parker for the most 30-point, 5-assist, 5-rebound-down games in a player's first 2 seasons. 3 games like that airy special for any player at any level. Go okay, this wasn't just a return from injury. Clark had reached a new level entirely. She looked more confident than ever before. Her decision-making was faster. Her shots were falling from impossible distances. Liberty couldn't find an answer for anything she wanted to do, but here's the most impressive part of the whole night. Clark made everyone around her better in the process. The Fever had 25 assists on 37 made field goals. That's what happens when a superstar elevates her entire team. Here's what separated this win from just another great individual performance. The Fever proved they were a complete team ready to compete with anyone. This wasn't about one superstar carrying everyone else. 5 different players scored in double digits for the first time all season. The chemistry was perfect from start to finish. Kelsey Mitchell stepped up with 22 points, showing the perfect connection she's developed with Clark over the past season. Mitchell struggled early in the game with her shooting, but when it mattered most in the fourth quarter, she dropped 10 points to help seal the victory. That's what clutch players do. They find their rhythm exactly when their team needs it most.
Her stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, Their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature shoe.
Sophie Cunningham made her own return from an ankle injury, adding another weapon to the Fever's arsenal just when they needed it most. Cunningham finished with a plus 31 rating for the night. She integrated back into the game like she had never missed any time at all. Her return gave the Fever another offensive threat that the Liberty couldn't account for. Aaliyah Boston dominated the paint against the defending champions. She grabbed crucial rebounds all night long and finished with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Boston battled players who were supposed to be stronger and more experienced. She showed up when her team needed her most. That double-double against the Liberty proved she belongs on the stage.
You finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around Gatorade, State Farm, Gainbridge, Wilson Basketball, have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure something out.
Lexi Hall knocked down big shots from beyond the arc, proving the Fever had multiple three-point threats the Liberty had to worry about. Hall went 3 of 4 from three-point range and finished with 14 points. She hit shots when the defense was focused on Clark. That's what makes this team so dangerous now. Sydney Coulson provided veteran leadership and clutch baskets when the game was still in doubt. She finished with 10 points and 6 assists and made plays that don't show up in the box score. Coulson's experience was huge in those tight moments. Her steady presence kept everyone calm when the pressure was highest.
I find it's very deplorable to me. I find it's very deplorable that you allow Caitlin Clark to get crapped on that whole entire time and even speak up. And on top of that, Nike's a bunch of a-holes too, because they didn't speak up and defend Caitlin Clark or speak up and say, hey, we got Aja's shoe coming. We got Aja's shoe coming. Just got to be patient. Caitlin Clark's going to get hers too. I don't understand the tactics here. All you're causing controversy that didn't have to be there. You're calling division where it didn't have to be there. You're calling racial, issues where it didn't have to be there.
The most telling moment came when Clark sat for a rest in the fourth quarter. Instead of falling apart, the team actually extended their lead. They moved the ball like a championship team. Everyone knew their role and executed perfectly. The Fever made a franchise record 17 three-pointers at 48% from beyond the arc. This wasn't just Clark carrying the team on her back. This was a complete unit firing on all cylinders against the best team in the league. The 102-88 final score told the story of a team that had found its identity and wasn't backing down from anyone. The Liberty had never given up 100 points all season until this night.
I just felt like across the board, this commercial was a 10 for 10. And a lot of people have been getting on Nike because they don't feel like they have been promoting Caitlin as much as they should. But I will say we have to give credit where credit is due. I feel like in the past month or so, they had been tweeting about Caitlin more. And then obviously with this shoe release, they made this super sick commercial to promote it. And of course, just today, Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe.
The Fever didn't just beat the defending champions. They ended a 9-game winning streak and announced themselves as the team to watch in 2025. This win proved that when healthy, this Fever team can compete with anyone, anywhere, and the league better take notice. Clark's return was everything we hoped for and more. But the real story is what this team can accomplish together moving forward. They made a franchise record of 17 three-pointers. 5 players scored in double digits. The chemistry was perfect from start to finish. This is what championship teams look like when everything clicks at the right moment. If you're excited for Caitlyn's return, then comment fired up for CC down below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next.